Hello and welcome back to Mechvision. Imagine a vast expanse of farmland stretching for miles, the soft hum of old engines in the distance, and suddenly out of nowhere, a tractor rolls into view. But not just any tractor, this one's shape is so unusual that it catches your attention, and you can't help but stare in awe and confusion. Today we're diving into a nostalgic journey, counting down the 10 ugliest American tractors you probably never knew existed. Let's kick things off with number 10. The Yuba Ball Tread Tractor. A few tractors from the early 1900s gained notoriety for their look, but none turn heads quite like the Yuba Ball Tread. Manufactured by the Yuba Manufacturing Company in Marysville, this machine replaced conventional wheels or tracks with a pair of circular ball treads. Each tread consisted of multiple rounded metal plates that rotated around a central drive system, giving it a caterpillar-like motion. The main goal was to improve traction and prevent the tractor from sinking. However, as time went on and more refined designs emerged, the Yuba's unwieldy looks and clunky tech made it less appealing, and eventually the Yuba Manufacturing Company exited the tractor market. Nevertheless, it left behind a bizarre legacy. Moving on to number 9, the CLE Track Model F. Produced by the Cleveland Tractor Company, the Model F was a crawler tractor that looked more like a tank without a turret than a farm machine. Though crawlers weren't unheard of, CLETR's design philosophy prioritized compact efficiency, which resulted in a strangely squat, boxy design. First introduced in 1919, the Model F was powered by a 4-cylinder engine that delivered about 15 horsepower, placing it in the mid-range class of tractors. Its crawler tracks allowed it to operate on soft or uneven ground, reducing soil compaction compared to steel wheels. But one look at the Model F would leave you scratching your head. However, as the crawler technology evolved, CLETR machines eventually faded from the market. Still, the Model F holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and nostalgic tractor enthusiasts. At number 8, we have the John Deere GP Orchard. John Deere's GP series is generally considered a classic, but the Orchard variant, often referred to simply as the GP, was a peculiar machine. Built between 1928 and 35, the GP Orchard was designed specifically for use in orchards and groves, and it boasted significant protective features to shield branches and fruit from damage. Its protective sheet metal created a bulky, tank-like appearance that farmers either found ingenious or hideous. Nevertheless, orchard farmers appreciated the GP's ability to reduce crop damage, which in turn led to better yield. The design of the GP highlighted an emerging trend in agricultural machinery, where tractors were tailored for specific farming needs. When parked beside a John Deere GP, the Orchard version's cavernous hood and towering side panel were hard to ignore. Though some might still consider it strange looking, the GP Orchard remains an iconic and nostalgic piece of agriculture history. Next is number 7, the Farmall F12. International Harvester's Farmall line is renowned for its row crop tractors, and the F12, introduced in 32, was one of the first models that captured attention for its odd profile. The Farmall F12 was designed to straddle rows of crops like corn without damaging them, making it ideal for row crop farming. However, this functionality led to top-heavy and elongated looks that many found awkward. The tractor's narrow front end and high ground clearance made it almost skeletal, especially when early models were fitted with steel wheels. When traveling over rough ground, the rattling of these steel wheels only emphasized the F12's strange look. Beneath the sheet metal, the F12 was powered by a 4-cylinder engine that produced between 10 to 16 horsepower, depending on the fuel type, which could be gas, kerosene, or distillate. The F12 was a prime example of how practicality sometimes resulted in less than pleasing designs. Moving on to number 6, the Case 1832 Crossmotor. The Case 1832 Crossmotor sold between 1919 and 1928, and it's a true oddball in the tractor world. The term crossmotor refers to its engine, which was mounted sideways on the chassis. This unorthodox design was intended to make maintenance easier and improve the tractor's balance, but it left the machine with a somewhat odd appearance. Despite these quirks, the Case 1832 Crossmotor had a loyal following due to the unbalanced construction and straightforward mechanics. However, as tractor's designs became more standardized, the Crossmotor concept faded away, leaving the 1832 as a relic. At number 5, the Silver King Model 42. Produced in the 30s, the Silver King Model 42 was a 3-wheeled tractor manufactured by the Fate Root Heath Company in Plymouth, Ohio. Its single front wheel protruded awkwardly while the rest of the tractor maintained a more standard conventional look. The minimal sheet metal and offset engine cowling gave it a lanky, spindly appearance that raised concerns among farmers about the machine's stability. Powered by a 4-cylinder Hercules engine produced around 25 horsepower, the Model 42 was perfectly capable of handling small farm tasks like row crop cultivation. The design was celebrated for its tight turning radius, which made it ideal for maneuvering in tight spaces. However, the machine's odd proportions and single front wheel gave it an unstable appearance. Despite that, the Silver King Model 42 found a niche market among farmers working small plots of land, and it became a cult classic. Moving on to number 4, the Avery Road Track BF. Produced by BF Avery and Sons, the Avery Road Track was a unique machine built for row crop work in the 30s and 40s. Its lightweight, spindly frame and high-arched front axle made it look like it was perpetually on tiptoe, as though it were trying to balance on its narrow front wheels. The tractor's narrow wheels and tall stance left key components exposed, contributing to a somewhat unfinished appearance. Despite its strange looks, the Avery Road Track was popular among small-scale farmers for its ability to maneuver between crop rows without damaging the plants. It was powered by a 4-cylinder engine producing around 20 to 25 horsepower, which was sufficient for lightweight plowing and cultivating. The unusual design of the road track with its minimal bodywork and exposed parts made it a standout in a field of tractors that were often bulkier and more solidly constructed. At number 3, the John Deere Dane all-wheel drive. The John Deere Dane, introduced in 1918, was one of the company's first attempts at building a motorized tractor, preceding the iconic Model D. Unlike the streamlined green and yellow tractors John Deere is known for today, the Dane is a heavy industrial appearance with large steel wheels and a bulky high-mounted engine. Powered by a 4-cylinder engine that produced 30 horsepower, the Dane featured all-wheel drive, which gave it greater traction and stability compared to others. However, its cluttered mechanical design and industrial look were far from sleek or elegant, making it a standout in the world of early tractors for all the wrong reasons. Despite this, the Dane set the stage for future John Deere tractors and was instrumental in the company's early success. However, its visual awkwardness makes it a curious piece in tractor history. At number 2, the Caterpillar 60. The Caterpillar 60 was a massive tractor designed for heavy-duty farm work, but its size and mechanical features made it appear almost absurdly large for any farming task. First produced in 1925, the 60 featured a 60-horsepower engine and was built to tackle the toughest jobs like deep plowing and hauling heavy loads. The tractor's weight and bulkiness gave it a towering appearance that, while functional, certainly wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It was a workhorse, no doubt, but its intimidating size and rugged design made it a questionable choice for many farmers who preferred something a bit more agile. Finally, the number 1 tractor is the Allis-Chalmers B. The B model, first introduced in 1937, is a quirky example of a tractor that became both loved and loathed. Its proportions were off, with a tiny body perched on large, oversized wheels, and despite its compact size and ability to maneuver easily on small farms, the Model B's peculiar design with an exposed engine and awkward appearance left too much to be desired in terms of aesthetics. Each of these oddball tractors holds a special place in farming history, even if they weren't exactly beautiful. They show how far the agricultural industry has come, from odd prototypes to the sleek, efficient machines that we know today.